evening all. How are you? Got a chook round the corner. I'll come round here shortly. There's a chookin. One of them feathery chookins. I think the boss is making a coffee, I'm not sure. Could be wrong. Yes. Rehab. I've got a special little wing over here for you. You've got to make it yourself, of course. So JJ, there's all the tools and materials for you. Knock yourself up a nice little rehab cottage. Perfect. I thought you were making a coffee. I did, yeah. There's one around getting a feed. Yes, you do. You're filming the chook. Righto. Jojo, quick look. They ripped the old patio down. Did all the subsoil work. I think the chook's gone now. But that's the extent of the subsoil. There's the boss. Filming me, filming her. Ooh, are you making a coffee?
Yeah, a coffee. I was waiting for the truck to come back.
Alright. He came right up here.
Make the coffee in a second. So
Righto. He'll come back. He's just fossicking through the freshly dug over soil for worms and stuff.
are you going to lie?
Yeah.
It's cold here. We're going to have to try to our fresco around the corner.
Do you want to go around there? Do you want to go around there?
Oh, wait a minute. Give you something to look at. We'll go around there to go look at bricks.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
Well,
Jen. No, this is the earthworks for our additions. Make a nice garden though. It's not bad soil. Yes, I believe that's the case. Our neighbour has altogether on this side and the other side and on the end over 10 kilowatt, which what I'll have. Most Australian homes have solar power. And here he is. This is our only chicken. Her name, because she's special, is Mallory the Chook. Hello, Mallory. Come here, Mallory.
excuse me.
Come here.
Just insulted the
Oh, okay. What's the name of the chook then? Jojo? There you go. How are you? How are you? Alright? You okay? You want something to eat? You want something to eat?
Don't let him round that side, Mum.
Come here. I think, I'm not sure, but are you wearing a wig? So what happened today? Elbow did what? Really? So what about Awesome? What did she get up to today? Really? Some more cooking. Oh, excellent, excellent. Want something to eat?
Come in from here.
What? Yeah. Want some dinner? Want a bite to eat? Here we go.
There's no hole here.
Oh, look at that. Oh, there we go. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
No, it's not a fuzzy head, Jen. It's a wig. Oh, look, there's another one. Purple chook. I think he wanted worms, but he'll settle for bread.
Pat you. Come here, let me pat you. Yeah. How would you go back round the back, go home? It's nearly your roosting time, eh?
You keep feeding him, the rest will come round.
Okay, come and follow me.
Parrots. He's not going anywhere. So what you been up to, Jojo? Anything exciting? We purchased some Flash vehicles this week. It's Friday night here. How prevalent are solar panels where you live, Jojo? Oh, that's nice. I'm pretty sure I know his bride-to-be. I'm pretty sure heard the name get dropped. Elbow and Kevin Camus. Yeah? It's only a name, Kevin, but match made in heaven, I guess. Hello, sugar. Yeah, so we had just a few guys know that patio's gone. That ripped into the top part of the old roof. Still left the old gutter on, but that's all coming down anyway, that side. And earthworks, so to give you an idea, that's how big the cottage is. And this is the extension. Down to there. Sort of triples our house size when we're finished. I don't know if you've seen our little cottage garden land the missus put up sugar, so I'll show you that. Down through there. All the way down to the front gate, which is no gate. It's just open. Not many Australians have gates. The old toilet was about 5 feet from the patio. If you get caught short when you come here in the future, Jojo, you can go to one of 4 toilets. I'm sure you'll manage. You take the chook home?
Hey, he wouldn't go.
Oh no, he's too busy with all this dug up soil
He
for
can't
worms.
get in over there. I'm sure he's got in around there.
Oh well.
Just find the roof thing.
Yeah, you can come stay. Hello. The chook that's now found a new home.
Stop the chook. I'm sure he can't get in. Back home through there.
He's good. He can't get through there.
No.
Oh, he's come from down the back. Hello, it's an old man and lady here. How are you? Just saying good evening officially.
Oh, that's good view of the chicken.
Yep. Yeah, we always welcome people to our home. Not a problem. What you doing, Mallory? Really? Sound like a fake cluck to me. You sound outraged. No, we just got the dressing gown on because it's cold. It is cold. Last days of winter. It's close to 90 degrees 2 days ago. Now it's down to about 60. What's wrong with the jumper? I've got a jumper on as well. It's cold. Look. Oops. Jumper, t-shirt, dressing gown. Because it's bloody cold. Don't you understand? We like it in the 90s and 100s, not 60s and 70s. That's freezing. I was in the garden during the warmer day and I still had my jumper on. It was about 90 degrees. We just love the heat. We're so used to it. When winter comes we don't like it. Hello, the chook's still digging. Still looking for worms. There we go. I think the chook's in focus now. Chickens and freshly dug up soil. They love it. Up and into the fray comes another bird. Maggie. Not sure if we've got the biscuits out here, buddy. Come say good day anyway. Come on, come over here. Oh, here they come. Here come the biscuits. He's seen the biscuits. No, it's not really, well, it's a unique species. At birth they apply a wig to the top of the chicken. Can't see at all. Just walks around sort of feeling things. But we'll go to your neighbour's place and beg for food, as this one's doing. So it's a Boit chicken. Probably the very first Boit chicken. Maybe it's a Boit species chicken. Now the Maggies would win any fight there. The Maggies can be very aggressive. The chicken won't even look at it. Oh, alarm chook. What was that? You see what it's actually doing? It's eating the tiny little seeds off the ryegrass. I don't think the species lives long though, Jojo. I think it sort of reaches a mediocre, crest, and then eventually just dies away. So it's not a species I would encourage people to buy. It's not got much longevity. He wants more, does he? Things are changing in the next few months on YouTube. Some people know what's going on. Some people are oblivious to it. All these people, I use Streamlabs on my phone. StreamYards is going to start charging people an arm and a leg because the free version is going away. And YouTube will be wanting more of their money. Hello, buddy. He's doing okay. He's belligerent as always. Probably giving all the nurses a hard time in hospital. He's talking reasonably well. He's in therapy. He's in a therapy wing of the Melbourne Hospital. And he'll be undergoing all sorts of therapy. Hydrotherapy, speech, mobility. There's a whole team of people that deal with different issues. But he'll soldier on. It's not to be taken lightly though. I've heard a few people suggest he's all good and fixed. That's not what happens after you have a stroke. So when people belittle the issue of a stroke, they really need to look into it a bit more, because it's life-changing. Even if you recover the best you can, it's life-changing. But a lot of people on YouTube tend to treat things flippantly. That's why I don't visit many channels now, to be honest. No, I must confess, it's not our chicken. It's come over here begging for food. Yeah. A lot of Aussies are like that though. When adversity hits Australians, we tend to joke. But deep down, it's not a joke, if you know what I mean. Yep, it's like having portions of the brain cells removed. We are a very lucky species because we can regenerate other cells to perform different tasks that they weren't meant to do. That's what a stroke specialist once told me. That the brain relearns and rewires, but it needs training or therapy to try and perform those. Here's the boss with coffee. Yep, and it's not a bad syndrome when you think about it, Shuggy. Shuggy? There's a new name for you, Shuggy? Sugar. Because it's being belligerent, it's making light of a bad thing. And we tend to do that a lot because it's not that we're frightened of things. We tend to do that to make other people at ease. So what Vinny's doing, I imagine, is joking, laughing, carrying on, making you guys feel better. That's how it works from Australians. You'll get that right shortly. I said Shuggy. So far you come up with Susie and Sugi. Maybe I'll call you Sugi. Well, buddy, life comes to an end for all of us
You're gonna
at
come
no
on my lap.
predicted time. What do you want? Very demanding. Come over here. Come over here. Come on. Come here. Come on, over this way. Want to go to JoJo's for the weekend? He can have custody on the weekend with you, okay? Oh, you want to go to Buddy Boppies? Buddy Boppers. You want to go to Buddy Boppers for the weekend?
You want to jump on my lap, aren't you?
Yeah, she wants to.
I gave you all the bread. So hand it back.
Noisy bugger. Well, the end's coming for the Tin Can Man. It's inevitable. When you have problems, like he does, and they're many and varied, throwing money at it is just throwing money at a problem. Doesn't fix it. If giving money to the Tin Can Man over the years would have helped, he wouldn't be living in a 3-decade-year-old van that's falling apart with no shitter, no shower, no toilet, non-working fridge, not air conditioner working still, I imagine. No? So if you throw money at something like that, it doesn't seem to work, does it? It's not the vehicle that's the problem. Yeah. No donations policy on this channel, buddy. She got nothing. Well, she got some bread, I must admit.
What?
This would be a strange statement if people didn't know what I was talking about, but I would suggest to you Vinny is in far more physical, better condition than Tin Can Man will ever be. Well, buddy, you can't live continually a perpetual fantasy. Comes to an end. And usually in a very crashing event, meaning that it all hits them at once. But no one can tell these type of people. They have to fall into the icy creek themselves to realise what everyone else was saying was true.
You updated Sugar Lollies asked you back how Vinny was?
Yeah.
Oh, did I just get pooped on?
By a bee, by the look of it, strangely enough. We got a tissue. It's a bee. You know how bees carry nectar? It's actually nectar. That's weird.
Oh, well, I'm blessed.
See, it's nectar.
Did you get it all off?
Yeah.
Sorry about walking in front of the camera.
See, it's all that bee hunting you've been doing for the last 6 months. They dive bombed you. Well, there's an old saying.
No, it was bird. There's a bird there. It was bird poo. So I better go buy a lottery ticket.
Okay, yeah, righto. There's an old saying which I truly believe, that good things happen to good people. Bad things happen to good people as well. But generally what I mean by that old saying is that if you do the right thing by people, the right thing is done by you. If you shit on people, abuse them, patronise them, take the shit out of them, take their money, well, it also comes back.
Go away, bird.
I mean, I'll be serious with you, and I'm sure Jojo would be exactly the same. If $5,000 cash was put in his hand and I knew it would fix the problem, it would have been done by now. But money's not the issue. If you watch a lot of these channels that ask for money in many different forms, they have degenerated into aggressive nasty, narcissistic, mean, just ringing a loud bell to get people to come watch the drama, and it belittles themselves by doing so. And most of them are oblivious to it. Chasing the greedy dollar has turned people into orcs.
Be careful how I look up in case I get poop on the face.
It's a good idea, buddy. I know you don't get out much, but get out when you can. And if that means turning off YouTube, that's as good as getting out. Oh, look, I mean, you're a very intelligent man, Jojo, and I'm sure you could ply your wares very talented on YouTube and garnish tens of thousands of dollars in a very subtle display of showing people how to garnish money from gullible people. Now, I was once asked, do you mean that generous people are gullible? Yep. You can be generous, there's nothing wrong with being generous and kind, but if your first thought is to give people money that you don't know anything about, you're gullible. And how many do we know? Buddy knows them, Jojo knows them, we all know them, that have given money to these types of people over the years and they regret it. And they say themselves, I was stupid. But they weren't stupid, they were gullible. It's like, you know, Jojo, when people get very down in their lives and there's very little going for them, the last thing you should do is keep helping them. You must let them reach the bottom. You must let them face that hard time, be it a psychological review, be it a health issue, whatever it is, because it's only yourself that can pull yourself out of it. Seeds, the joke was to send somebody a sex fetish about raping. I'm not sure what that was about,
I know.
who that was to. Who's that to?
I heard about that. I don't know the names or what channel or anything, but somebody. Am I right in saying it was something? Now I apologise if I'm wrong, buddy. Was it the crime community or one? I don't know.
I'm lost. I don't know.
Somebody.
Who Buddy's talking?
Somebody was trying to set someone else up, and they were going to video it. They were going to lure somebody. Is this correct, buddy? Am I saying it right? Lure somebody.
Well, that's collusion. They would go to jail.
And to say and said these things like, if I start screaming, don't stop, shit like this. Am I right? Yes. Okay, I'm right, buddy. Yeah. That's sick. Those people, they're the ones that I hope 1,000 fleas from a camel infect their never injured down the bottom, and that their arms are too short to scratch.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
They're disgusting.
Hello, Mallory. You come back, have you? You're chasing some more food. Demanding little bugger, aren't you?
Yeah, there's look, it doesn't matter if it's online, but it also happens in real life. There's sick people. You're going to jump on my lap. What's the matter?
I've always thought one of the best gifts you can give people that are facing adversity is hope. Shine a light on what they're good at. Explain to them that there is a better way to live. Like I say, my grandfather's saying always rings in my ears. If what you're doing is not working, stop doing it.
Yes, it's just some sick people out there, and it's easier to lure people in online than it is in real life. But I mean, this sort of shit's been going on way before internet, all these social media stuff. You can just go look at all the crime history, you know, serial killers, whatever, how they lured their victims in real life.
Well, the difference between a serial killer and a normal person is visually you couldn't say the difference.
No, it's same as con artists have been around way before the internet. It just took a bit longer. This chook. We aren't getting.
Shut up.
We are not
Noisy
going.
bugger.
We're not going to get that breed of chook.
No. I think one of the things, buddy, that I see is that people normalise bad behaviour. What I mean by that is that things that may have been disturbing a decade ago, people go, you know what I mean? Like they... Do you want to get on and do your own live broadcast somewhere else? You can work hard in your life, or you can work smart. You can do both. Work hard and smart. And does anyone really want to work? No, but that's how it works. That's how you move forward. Oh, it's a little shit, isn't it?
You know what? Don't be surprised when it ends up laying an egg. It's time for you to go home and roost. Yeah. Go on. But you won't follow me. I'll see if you follow me home.
Take him down the yellow brick road.
Easy way to get back over. Yeah, but I'm not tall enough. Come on.
I always admire people that stand up, and I've seen it in text in chat rooms where people will say the words, you know, saying the C word is unacceptable. And then some people go, well, yeah, you're right, it really is unacceptable. But it's like, I don't know how to explain it in terms of society. It's like anything goes.
Yeah, he uses. I think he's trying to find a way back home, but won't go around the back where he came in.
See if I can grab him.
Hang on, I'll film you. Oh, I could grab him. I just can't lift him over. He's ready to roost. Let's talk to him. That's it. Hang on. Wait. We're sending him home. That's it. I'm sorry, I've messed your phone up.
I
now.
generally let doves go, but on this occasion, I had to take Mallory back to her own place. I suppose it's not really the word, Jojo, but it's the context. And you know what I mean by that. It's how people say things. It seems, g'day Vinny, it seems people love to belittle other people like it's a game. And some people like Vinny, I could abuse the shit out of him all day. You just laugh.
Benny. Sorry, Benny,
But other people will take it to heart. So it's the context and the person who you're talking to.
Sorry, Vinny. My autocorrect changed your name.
So you've been giving them shit today, Vinny? Have they thrown you in the water yet? That'll be interesting. I want to see you with floaties on and Speedos.
Did you just see the chook, Vinny?
Well, if you were stroking the way I think you're stroking, you want to stop it, you'll go blind. We don't take offence in Australia, believe me. It takes a lot to rile up an Aussie, trust me, it really does. But there are context of conversations, i.e. if I was out with my wife at a dinner table, someone was going the raw prawn, I'd be into them. It's the old balance and coordination tests.
Oh, that's good, Vinny. That's helping with your coordination and your strength.
Did you ask if you could change the building blocks into casks of wine?
It's all part of the process, Vinny.
Might see if Vinny can sneak into the kitchen and do a cooking show. That'll be fun. Mind you, in hospitals they put locks on the fridges. But he's clever enough to bring in a pair of snippers. Yeah, you got no chance of getting that donation happening, mate.
If that, oh bless.
They'll be onto you like a fly on shit. I wonder what their policy is on vaping. Just curious what hospitals do there. And I don't think they'd let them vape inside. But
I'm not sure, Vinny. Is that something, have you asked them, Vinny? I'm just curious, actually. That's a good point.
They won't let them have a cigarette.
No, I'm talking about what's there, because WA vaping is illegal everywhere. You can't even
No,
buy
you can
it.
vape. But
No, you can't. It's illegal here.
Oh, I've gone that far now.
If you get caught coming into Western Australia with any vaping gear, it's a fine.
Mind you, Vinny, if you pulled out the $100
Okay.
notes and walked into the desk late at night and said to the young nurse, $5 for a cigarette, she'd probably go and get you 10 packets. No vaping allowed on the grounds. Well, because they've got to keep monitoring, there's not even a chance of a day trip for a while, I imagine.
No, it's because it's to do with your oxygen levels and all that. That's why you can't have any smokes.
He might just ask the nurse to put a bit of nicotine in his drip. Just put 20 mil in there, doll. It's funny, a lot of hospitals in New South Wales, as soon as you get out the door, there's cigarette trash bins everywhere. I imagine you'd be craving a fag by now. Been nearly a couple of weeks without one.
Well,
Jeez.
10 days, isn't it, Vinny? 10, 11 days. No, you, I don't know how strict it is in Melbourne.
I'll give Vinny a quick look. They come and did the subsoil work today, Vinny. Ripped down the old patio. Stripped it. You know what I mean. Stripped all the shit. Profiles up. And I think Monday we're getting all the sand coming in. So that bit's done. Man, he found some shit in there, didn't he? 70 years of crap thrown in the backyard. He's probably at home now going through it thinking something might be worth something.
I was talking to my phone, thinking that I was talking to Vinny to my phone. I realised, oh, they're not going to hear me. Vinny, it's like your thickened liquids. Do you know why you have to have thickened liquids?
Yeah, so don't go down the wrong hole.
Yeah, did they tell you? It's important that you have your thickened liquids because if it goes down the wrong hole, you can get pneumonia.
What's your natural hand? Is it your right hand or your lefty? I think Winnie was right-handed, off memory. And 3 hours trimming your beard, mate. You haven't got much of a beard. Well, you're plucking them, were you?
No, he was practicing. It's the motor skills.
Yeah.
It's all stuff we take for granted. Well, I don't, because I've worked with so variety of patients that you can't imagine. You can't, but you can sort of meet a little bit and picture a little bit or visualise yourself. Now, if I can't do that, how hard is it for that person? So
I remember an old bloke, when I was a kid, I used to deliver newspapers to the local hospital, and he was having an argument with the nurse, old bloke, who'd been in there a couple of weeks, and she said, if you can close your eyes, put your finger on your nose, put your hands by your side. He poked himself in the eye.
yeah.
She said, you're not going anywhere.
No, Vinny, all they dug up was one Rosella tomato sauce bottle, empty of course, with no label on it. I've got it at the back there. Because don't worry, I was looking out the window as he was using the bobcat to see if anything came up. Because the last thing we would have wanted was bones found.
Natural hand is my right hand, which is paralysed, not natural, and is left hand. Oh well, sex life takes a change for the difference.
And that's... I'd be interested to know what thickening agent they use in your drinks, Vinny, because
Specially supplied. Remember that company that your mum had to get?
yeah, because the one that I ended up getting for my mum when we looked after her was brilliant. It had no taste. It didn't affect the taste of what you were thickening, and Mum was okay with that.
There is going to be plumbing, Vinny. This, you see the back steps, they're about 450 mil from the ground level. The house is going to continue at the same height, so it's going to be about 450 there, about 550 down the back. So they'll bring in half the sand, lay the plumbing, because they're going to reroute. The actual IPO is where that post is, see right in front of me, and that goes down that side of the house. But we don't want that. We wanted the plumbing to be rerouted over the other side, but because it's coming up basically about the height of that peg, so they're putting half in, you know what it is. Do the plumbing, get that right, and then cap to the level and brick up. So it's going to be bricked up all the way around. So there's plenty of plumbing in the extension, trust me.
Well, actually 2 bathrooms, that's all. Oh, and yeah,
2 toilets, 2
the old
bathrooms,
house, yeah.
rear line.
No, yeah, 2 bathrooms, Vinny. 2 bedrooms with en-suites we're having in the new extension.
Well, the actual kitchen, the old kitchen, is in that window, and it's coming out, I think about 1.5 meters, all new kitchen going in, of course. Most of that wall is disappearing. There will be a office there. Then there'll be 1, you can't see down the back, but 2 large bedrooms with en-suites and toilets.
And in front of those is the dining lounge.
Yeah.
Patio.
Yeah. So that's the old cottage, but you can basically see, I think they're about 9 by 9 metres, the old cottages, but we're coming all the way down the back. So it's about 3 times the size of what it will be now.
Yes. Well, one of the new bedrooms will be ours, buddy, and then the other one will be...
Well, there'll be 3 other bedrooms.
Yeah.
So in effect, and if you counted the office, it'd be, because the office is a bedroom size, it'd be a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom home.
Yeah. So inside the old cottage is 2 bedrooms with a bathroom in the middle.
Hello, Seal Hater. How are you, mate?
And then on the new extension will be the 2 new bedrooms with en-suites.
So it's not going to be a monster house, don't get me wrong, but it'll be a big house. Yeah, we're getting, costing a fortune, mate, we're getting Jarrah floorboards all through the old kitchen, right through the new dining area, right through to the living area and the office. The two bedrooms, two master bedrooms if you like, they will be carpet. Not my choice, mate. I would have gone floorboards throughout. But
I like carpet in bedrooms. It's not on concrete though, is it?
what they do is, because they lay a concrete slab,
Oh, okay.
then they're going to stick 70mm risers like floor joist on the ground, because then you'll get that feel of effect
Of the old,
like
the
an old house. So.
Yeah. And the ceilings are staying the same height as the old cottage, which is what, 9 foot?
It's more than 9 foot. It's about 9.5 feet high. Well, it's a big open area from the kitchen right through to the back French doors.
Yeah.
Forget how long that is. That's about 14 metres. That's all open.
Open plan kitchen, dining lounge. Yep. Flows out to the patio.
Yeah, I mean, even when they're finished at lock-up, I've got a lot more work to do. Sand back these old windows. I wonder if I can show them a little bit of daylight left. Found a bloke that was pulling apart a 1930s house. Not going to get to see much here. But you can see these windows. They're 1935 to 1940 installed, Art Deco. And in the middle is a nice little, I can't show you. See through that one? Not really. So I deliberately hunted down these windows, even though it's a new building added on to an old building. We want a mix match of old and new.
No
ceiling fans.
No ceiling fans. Yeah, I've got to say, I have a fear of ceiling fans. Don't tell everyone down here.
See, they were windows I was showing you. So we've got old windows. There's another set of colonial type windows we're having in the side entrance here. You'll get to see all of it in time. It'll pop up and you'll see it.
Well, I'm just glad something started, because I'm sure you lot thought that we weren't doing anything because everything was taking so long.
That was only the paperwork. Vinny knows all about paperwork. Building sites, waiting for approval, some dick at a council saying I'll get back to you next Thursday. Everyone's on site on Monday waiting for someone to say, yes, I'll tick a box. Yeah, so we've deliberately included a lot of, even the doors, the internal doors, they're over nearly 100-year-old, solid Jarrah. And I've got to change the furniture to fit. What we do is, I've got air conditioners in every separate room. So each of the office and the other two bedrooms will have their own air conditioner. And in the big open area, I'll have I'm guessing around 8 kilowatt, 9 kilowatt air conditioner for that. Because I've always believed, and it is proven fact, yes, it costs a bit more to do individual air conditioners, but when no one's living in that room and you've got air conditioner going in there, I found it superfluous. So when we go into our bedroom tonight, if it's cool, we'll just turn the reverse cycle on to heat, and it just heats the little room. So if we have guests that come and stay in individual rooms, they can turn it on to whatever temperature suits them. But most of the time, we just have the doors open.
Yeah.
During the year, we always, as you can see, we like being outside a lot, so the patio will get used a lot. See, the rooms, the old room that we're in is
It's a good size.
about 4 metres by 4 metres, so it's a good size, 12 by 12 if you like.
For an old house, it's a good size.
Favourite temp? About 90, believe it or not, buddy. We would settle for 90 degrees every day.
I'd say about 30.
Yeah, about 30 Celsius. I mean, it's probably 75 now, and I've got a jumper and a dressing gown on.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, you should have, because there should be a policy in there for further disabilities.
Yeah, because of them sending you home.
Which could mean a payout, Vinny. I mean, I know one guy that got a payout. I don't know how that will work with you, because you want an ongoing insurance policy, but you should be able to claim part portion. Depends how tight ass your insurance company is, of course. If it's the same one that you had to go to court with, good luck. They'll give you bottle tops if they had a choice. We'll have a clean the driveway up the other day. Now there's all mud through there.
Yeah, well,
We-
that's the last thing. When it's all done, then we'll fix the driveway up.
Mhm.
Oh, well, Vinny, when you're all better, you get everything settled, bring your family over.
Yeah,
There'll be plenty of bedrooms.
and your bobcat.
Yeah, and your bobcat. You could do some more work for us.
Yeah, I remember when I worked for the building company when I was younger, you get on site and the cement trucks are there, backing up, and the council guy, not there. Make a phone call. Oh, that's right, yeah, I'll be out there shortly. Give me a few hours. Mate, the trucks are here. We've got 8 people on site. Oh, all right, I'll come round. And all he does is nod and say, yeah, lift that mesh up a bit more, put another crown under there. Yeah, that's good. Footing's good. Yeah, righto. Yeah, it's good, boys. And he fucks off. But you have to wait for him. I was in the middle of nowhere when I was a young bloke. I was a plaster apprentice when I was young, and mainly doing concrete work and tiling. And out in the middle of past Karoo, near Three Springs, which is the middle of the desert out here, and we needed about 18 metres of concrete. So we needed a few trucks, probably 4. They weren't that big trucks in those days. And we got the first 2. And then we got a call on someone's phone saying, yeah, it should be out there in another 3 or 4 hours. I said, mate, we can't wait 3 or 4 hours. You know, we're pouring concrete. So luckily we got it within the next, I think it was about an hour and a half. Vinny knows what I'm talking about. You've got to fret the concrete. You've got to sort of cut into it as it's drying to make sure that the next bit will fit in and bond. And fucking drove us nuts. We had to scrape down about a 20 by 10 area to about half its thickness so we could top it. But yeah, building games never straightforward, trust me. Some weeks go real smooth, and then you get a team of brickies that have an argument with the on-site manager, tell them to shove it up his arse. You got to find a new brickie team. I'm just too old to build this last house. I've built 2. Pitched my own roofs, done everything. And I could do it, but it would take me 3 years. And I'm not willing to wait that long. So I'm paying a premium. Vinny would know the difference between building it yourself and a builder's premium. It's between about 30 and 40% extra you've got to pay. That's what it is. It's called profit. But this is a big roof, as you'll see when the roofing gets done. You'll see the videos. It will be the big pitch. Got to cut into the old roof, rip off this whole back face, re-pitch. And look, this is a certainty. Things won't all go smooth. Trust me. You'll have videos of me cursing and swearing and can't get this, can't get that, got to wait for that. That's what happens. But I'm ready for it. I can build a home myself if I wanted to. So I could have just done the subcontracting. But because how it works these days, everybody is not a company. In other words, a chippy is a subcontractor, a tile is a subcontractor. In the old days, you'd be hiring a team. You know, there'd be a plumber, electrician, always used to work together, and chippies would work together. It was easy. So I could have been easy been an owner builder again without any trouble at all. In fact, I was asked if I wanted to do it, and I said no. So there's probably, by not doing it myself, even though I am doing a lot of things myself, probably costing me about 80 to 100 grand extra to build the house. In other words, that's the profit the builder wants. But there's plenty of painting to do. Got to put the skirting boards in, sand, back all the windows. Mind you, JP will be coming over in the new year. Might wait for him to come and do all the sanding. Just grab that sanding machine, JP. Yeah, that's how you do it, mate. Keep going. Doing a great job. Yeah, you'll be there when it's done. You'll be just saying to me, where's my soap? Everything else is finished. Timber is, well, it depends what you get. I'm using Jarrah, which is a very old hardwood. And the floorboard, you'll see when it's going it. Some guy said to me, oh, this is the best value. I said, I don't want that shit. So we're going for stone. I would have preferred timber, but the wife said no, so I had to compromise and we're getting stone. Well, it's about 6 months of this, buddy, by the time we're finished. Easy, and it'll never be finished. You know what it's like. Then there's the landscaping to do, the paving, driveway, gardens. Then out the front's another thing. If I was being honest, probably by the time I would say things are finished, it'll be a couple of years from now. I mean, the floorboards just at the back is going to be a patio area. I'm trying to work it out in feet. What is it in feet? 6 by 4, 12 feet, about 20 by 12 patio, maybe a bit bigger. But just the subfloor, because it's raised up about half a metre, subfloor will be about 3 grand. And the boards that go on the back will be about 4 grand. So close to 10 grand will disappear just building in the back patio. We've been on boat cruise. It's great fun. It really is. I don't think I want to do like 5 and 6 weeks of it though. Just a week or 2, that's enough. JP said we did our kitchen, we got a composite stone. Some man-made stone. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure ours is cut stone. So I don't think it's composite. It's not cheap. I mean, probably to cover, we only got about, what is it, 3, 9, maybe 10 metres of bench top. I think it's close to 4 grand. But everything costs. But I'm a very practical person. I work out the cost before I do anything. And I generally, and this is how I've always been my whole life. If I haven't got the money, I don't spend it. So saving your money to get something is a far rewarding effort, because when you've got the money, you can go and buy it. Not, oh, I'll take out a loan. It's just me. I paid my first house off in 5 years, and I thought, I'm not doing this again. What did I mean by that? Well, it was only 30 grand way back in the 1980 first house. I just figured I'm going to save the money, and then I'll buy. There's a few horror stories with cruises. What you're looking over, see, this fence here was here before we got here. This is called HardieFlex, so it's cement fibre, not asbestos. And what I put all around the property is Colorbond. So that's steel. I thought about ripping down that neighbour's fence, but he didn't really want to do that. So I put that topper on. You see that little grey topper? Doesn't look much, but it's about 1.5 feet high. It gives us the privacy between the two properties. Yeah, that's a problem though, JP. Can you imagine young people trying to save to get a house now? I just can't see how they could afford a deposit on a block of land in Australia, let alone where JP lives and where I live. You wouldn't buy a quarter acre for under 500,000. You'd be very lucky. It might be next to a sewer if you did, but 500,000 disappears and there's nothing on it. Actually, do you want to take one of these tables and go and sit under the light?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, might be better, I think. Will you have a stone garden? Not really. I'll have a proper garden with garden beds. I'm just gonna hide you for a second in my pocket. Don't go anywhere, people. You take the chairs, I'll take the table. Can you handle that? There we are. That wasn't too scary, was it? Might just have to put that table a little bit forward, because that will keep falling over like that otherwise. I'll probably have about 4 minimum good-sized garden beds. Did you find something?
Oh, I found treasure.
Bring it over to the camera.
I saw it shining. I thought, what the hell's that? I found treasure.
Oh, a tin spoon. It's got writing on the back. This is just shit herself.
I just
Sat on a chair and it sunk into the sand.
I found treasure.
That probably gives you a better idea how big the house will be looking from here down to the back. You right there?
Look how low I am.
Stop panicking now.
I'm not panicking, it's just funny. Well, there you go. I found some treasure. I'll have to check if it's silver, people.
It's got some writing on the back.
I will let you know when I clean it up. That could be 60, 70 years old, this teaspoon.
Well, it's probably at least 5 years old because it was under the pavers.
It's actually pretty. I will clean that up and I'll let you know. Yeah, I just saw this thing sparkle. I have to get the metal detector out. Sorry, I'm blowing my nose. The spoon attack, yeah.
You'll keep that and use that now. I know what you like.
I will. I'll give it a good clean.
That'll be a no coffee mug shortly.
I will read the back to see what it is. Well, I like old things. It's one with you.
Thanks very much. So down over here will be the JP Pavilion, followed by the awesome hooker garden about there. We got one in the morning, but believe me, when this house is finished, they'll be full of grandkids.
No, we haven't tomorrow morning, Saturday.
Does it have 925 silver mark on it?
I'll have to
It's
clean it
dirty,
up.
we have to clean it up
I'll have
first.
to clean up and have a look, Sugar Lolly. Does that mean it's something good?
What, silver? Silver number. I've been watching a few shows about people fossicking for gems. Yeah, some people get lucky. I could see us doing it, just going out during winter, out in the bush, camping in the rough. I look at my wife when I say that, she's like, that's not happening.
No.
Yeah, so by Monday over, we should have the sand put in. It'll be half depth because what they'll do, they'll dig into it, put the plumbing in. That's right, sterling silver 925.
Well, I will let you know when I go in and clean it up. But it is a pretty spoon, actually. Even if it's not silver, I will still...
Actually, my mate, remember in Australia, everyone used to collect spoons at one stage, didn't they? Like that happens.
I used to collect spoons.
About half-inch of rain, which was good, but we got another 2 fronts. It comes up in waves. About 2 more fronts of the storm front coming in, and then by probably Wednesday next week, that'll be it. We quickly go from cold to warm. We don't have a transition, or we don't have a gentle move from winter into spring. It's like boom, 32, 34 degrees, which is fine by us.
You'll have to watch the beginning of it when you get a chance of this stream, BMAC. You'll see what progress we've made of the... Well, we didn't do it, the Bobcat did it.
Yeah, you can't see too much now, but that's all the earthworks started, subsoil.
But just before you came in, BMAC, I found treasure. I saw something glistening, and I found a teaspoon.
We were in New South Wales this time last year, and I can tell you, we used to live in New South Wales, and that was the coldest winter I'd had in a long time.
Was that a auto-correct there, Johnny P, BMAC? Because that happens to me instead of VMAC. Yes, a teaspoon. I was like a hawk watching them dig today, and all I saw them pull up was a old tomato sauce bottle with no
fancy
label.
stuff on it, and on the back some writing, but it's pretty dirty. My wife will make a complete video out of this.
I'm excited finding something.
Yeah, it was a nasty winter last winter. We were there from May right through to...
I just realised it was me that did auto check. Sorry, BMAC. I wrote BMAC instead of VMAC because of the damn auto check.
Taking your bills.
Oh dear, sorry.
We can always find a chocolate cache, that's easy. So no damage, VMAC. Is it petering out just to be a bit of a block? You should be home by now, I guess.
Actually, WA's on water restrictions all year round here, isn't it?
Mm.
We have water restrictions 365 days of the year, JP.
You can only hand water.
On your off days.
Yep.
And
The sprinkler is allowed twice a week
It
for
depends
an
on
hour.
Depends on your house number, what
Yeah.
day you're allowed to water.
Ever think of drilling? You mean for water? There was a bore right there.
Put in 50, 60 years ago, but
Yep.
haven't been used for the last 20 years?
Yeah, no. Because we're going to have so much roof, I'll be having rainwater tanks. Fresh rainwater, which we will use to make cups of coffee and tea out of, and also water the garden. We're on a sandbank. This whole area used to be underwater thousands of years ago. So it's all river sand. Oh, that sucks. No bonfire. I used to love that as a kid. No, it's about 50 feet here, which is not too bad because we're up on a bit of a hill. Where we used to live, it would have only been about 10 feet. But we're higher. But, I mean, bore water's good, but a lot of the bore waters around the world, and we're not any other exception, they're getting deeper and deeper. So I prefer to use the rain that falls from the sky, collect it and use it.
How far's the river from here? Kilometre away?
If that, about 3,000 feet away would be the river. But rainwater, all Australians use rainwater. In fact, some parts in my state, you can't build a house unless in the plans is rainwater catchment. And yet in the United States and some states, it's illegal to catch rainwater. Really? Next they'll be saying you can't use all the oxygen in the air. We'll have to tax you. We'll turn it around for a little while. Say good day. There we go. Oh, can't see the boss lady.
That's alright, it's like
Yeah.
maybe hands will show in the window and scare everyone.
That'll be a worry because you're not inside.
Because I'm not inside.
This whole wall behind me disappears, gets cut out. Yeah, most Australians' homes have rainwater tanks. Very dry country. But yeah, I think we probably put 3,000 gallon tank.
What do you say about catching water? That some places are illegal.
In the US it
Yeah,
is.
in the US, not
It's weird.
in Australia. They encourage you.
Well, you can't build in some places without a rainwater tank. It's weird sitting out here without a patio over the top of it.
I know.
No more rain stopping getting wet.
Didn't matter when it pissed down. We got wet anyway.
Yeah, rainwater's great for the garden. We've always used rainwater when we've had a tank for making coffee, tea. A lot of Australians home will have a tap coming in from the rainwater tank into the kitchen. So just use it like normal water. We just do the obvious. At the end of the dry summer, we turn the turnpipe away from the tank, and the first heavy rain we just let flush away. Then put it back over the tank into the filter system. It's clean water. Even if you cook with it, you're boiling the water. So there's no. I've been to many people's places and just turned the rainwater tank open and had a drink. Never had a problem in my whole life.
Grew up. Even drinking the little Wrigley's that get into the tanks.
Most people in Australia would get a little eyedropper, you know, like for medicine thing, and you just get a little bit of kerosene, tiny bit, drop it in the tank, and it just flows out and puts a seal on top. You don't drink it.
No, because
Tiny little bit.
when the water gets that low, you're supposed to clean
And what
the
it
tanks
does,
out.
if there is any mosquito larvae in there, they suffocate. And every couple of years you tip your tank out, flush it out, clean it, put it back up again. Well, as far as the crows fly from here, we're only about 5 kilometres on the coast away from the desert. We have 7 deserts in my state alone, all named differently, because it's a big state. If you imagine Quebec and go way past Toronto and keep going, cut Canada in half, that's the size of my state. And we have about 4 to 4.5 million people live in the state. That's all we have. And they were mainly concentrated in the city here. Probably 3 million people in the main city. But I wouldn't live anywhere else. Like I say, Sugar said to me earlier, why are you cold? It's 75 degrees. I have a jumper, a t-shirt and a dressing gown on, and it's cold. Yes, it is. And I know someone topographically has a website where you can move countries and hover over another country. Well, Australia is as big as the United States. That's how big it is. But when people see it on a map, they say, "Oh, there's Australia. There, that's how big Australia is." And then they say, "And America's this big." No, same size. A jumper here is a little girl's dress, not a sweater. Not sure why you called it a sweater. Do you sweat in it?
Well, we don't say sweater. We say jumper or hoodie.
Yeah.
Or what's the other one?
Yeah, but we also drive on the left-hand side of the road,
Or we say
as God intended.
years back. Oh, it was.
Give you a quick look. You won't see much high, but we had earthworks started today on the extensions. Goes all the way down the back. You won't see there.
Just watch the stream later from the beginning. You'll get a better view.
Yeah, you'll see more. If you look at, I did a little video today actually, and you'll see that. Did I put that up? I think I did. Just clean up vegetation, put profiles up, things like that. I've got a friend that lives at 42 degrees north in Canada, VMAG. He was in here the other night. He gets very cold. In fact, one day, it was remarkable. It was between his temperature and my temperature, there was 100 degrees Celsius difference. He was minus 54 and I was plus 46. Braised steak and onion gravy. Ooh, now we're talking. That's tucker there. I like onion gravy. Yeah, he was telling me the other day when he came in that...
I shall go and clean the treasure.
all right, that where he lives, the season's definitely changed. He's got frost in the morning now, every morning. And like me, we both agree. He lives on the other side of the world here. My spring started about a month ago, which is unusual. So the seasons are changing for sure. I remember one day he had 6 feet of snow. He's got his homemade plough, and all his neighbours scream out for him to help them as well. But he's self-sufficient. He uses all solar power, batteries. Doesn't want for much. Grows his own food.
Did you see my hands?
Oh, I wasn't looking. Sorry. Well, that's one way to get a fire going, buddy. No, he has warm spells where he lives, but it's brief-lived. I mean, their summer is about 3 months. Mine's about 10. Up here don't have a lot to do in the Northern Hemisphere. You know, he chooses to, VMAC. He's done it for a decade. And he drives a school bus for the school bus season. And that's where he gets his income from. But basically, his theory is one I work with: what you don't spend, you save. So he grows his own produce, kills his own meat. The Dole. So we call it autumn. But you call it Dole. Just kidding. Heat over 85. We're in the garden doing that little cottage garden the other day, and it was 90. And well, I had a jumper on. You wouldn't survive here, Mary. I know what you meant, B-Mac. Just kidding. We like the heat. But when it gets to about 30, 32, that's good. We don't even have the air conditioner on until it gets to about 34. And our summer nights are just magnificent. It's probably around about 28 to 30 degrees at night. We just sit on the back patio. Beautiful. So we're spoiled, we think. And like I say, our winter, we think it's cold, but you guys would just laugh at us if you were here. Buddy, you'd be in shorts and a t-shirt while I'm rugged up to the nines. He grows his own tobacco too, sir. A friend of mine in Canada has done for a while. Can't do it here because it's illegal. 20, that's nice. Bit cold, but nice. You're probably in your bikinis, were you, VMAC? Dancing around the pool. No, but we do like I've had Canadian and American friends stay with us over the years, and they don't like it over about 80 degrees. It's like, ooh, this is too hot. And I'm thinking, this is winter, it's not hot. But no, you'd never catch me going into the pool until it gets about 40 degrees Celsius. Then I'll go in. It's the wind for me, buddy. Like I say, we get only down to about 2 mornings close to 0 here, but you know, at night time it'll get down to about 10. But when the wind kicks in, it's bloody freezing. Really terrible. Hello, Hannah. Yeah, so not much more happening on the weekend. We'll have all the extra sand brought in because we're raising the level of the extension to the same size as the house, but they'll bring in about half of it. Then a plumber will cut in all the plumbing that's required, and that'll take a good day and a half, 2 days to do that. And then they'll bring the rest of the sand in, top it all off, and then the brickies will come in, and then they'll put concrete down. Ooh, not me, not a chance, VMAC. Too cold. Funny thing here, during winter, and I used to surf and always swim and dive in the ocean. During winter, the colder the land, the warmer the sea. The sea doesn't really go below 23, 24 degrees here. Electric cigarette roll machine. No idea what that is. Is that vape? Is that what you're talking about? We always roll our own. Like I say, it'd be like 15, 16 degrees and I'd go diving. The water was warmer than the land. You'd be swimming in 24 degrees. I've got a friend of mine in Canada who always walks out barefoot on the snow during winter. She says, oh, it's so relaxing. I'm thinking, you're mad. You're crazy. Yeah, the 2 ounces tobacco that we buy cost about $80 for 2 ounces. I think JP said 25 cigarettes is about $30 something now. Just ridiculous. It's all tax. You know, the same company that sells it in Australia, JP Morris, if you in America went onto an Australian tobacco website, you could buy a pack of 2 ounce tobacco with postage sent to the US for about $12 because they don't tax you. Here, most of the tobacco is just tax. Oh, a pound, 16 ounces, 8 packets. 8 packets here cost us close to $700, buddy. It's all tax. It's horrendous. Alcohol's not much difference in price. All around the world I've been, JP's done it as well. It's like variables, not much though. In fact, a pint of beer in Germany is very cheap. A pint of beer in the UK is about the same price as here. But I bought a pound of tobacco in Stuttgart. We ended up giving it to a homeless guy because we would never smoke that much. $14, buddy. I guess they're playing sport then, JP. Drive safely. But our meat is probably on par with the US, if not a bit cheaper. Yeah, a friend of mine had one of them machines where you put tobacco in and then you got these empty tubes of cigarettes and it automatically just fed in there and filled his cigarette up. But we've always liked rolling our own. Basketball. Actually, I was at my grandson's school yesterday, JP, if you're still here. The Wildcats come down to this school every few months because one of the teachers is associated with them and have a muck around game with the kids. But I was taller than any of them. Basketballers seem to be getting shorter. Now we just roll around. Cigarette papers, filters, tobacco. Yeah, I gave up smoking VMAC from 1986 till 1997, so 11 years. But I started again. But one good thing, none of my kids smoke. None of them. You would think maybe some of them would, but none of them have never picked up a cigarette. I smoke about 15 to 20 of these a day. What would we get out of a packet of cigarettes? Probably about 100 cigarettes or more.
I don't know.
Roughly. If you smoke 2 packs a day in Australia, sir, you'll be looking at something like $70 to $80 per day.
What?
I think they tax just as heavily in New Zealand for cigarettes as they do here. Yeah, I ended up giving up because at that stage in '86 I was still playing a high level of sport and it was affecting me. So I stopped and I basically played sport for another decade. No, it looks like this generation doesn't smoke, which is a good thing.
Who have I missed while I was busy cleaning my
Hi.
treasure? How you going, Hannah?
Oh, have you got it cleaned up?
Yes.
Here we go. Here's
Are
the big
you
reveal.
ready? And guess what? It's stainless steel.
What's it say on the back? You're right.
Stainless steel, made in China.
This
But
is the only thing that was dug up in the back garden.
No, there was a sauce
Got
bottle.
a fancy little handle on it.
There was a sauce bottle as well.
You'll probably frame that now, and yeah,
It's cute.
or use it.
I'll use it. Yeah, I know, but still it's cute.
Yeah, I mean, what's the elevation of the top lakes? I'm trying to guess. I think it'd be at least 1,500 metres, I'm guessing.
No, VMAC. It would have been exciting.
Actually, all of this down the back, VMAC, is just shallow graves waiting for the Boit members that deserve to be in there.
It would have been exciting to find
A
bones.
huge area.
But the problem is then our works would have been put on hold because there would have been an investigation. But mind you, with all the things that we've watched on Boit, YouTube, we could have solved any crime if one had have arisen.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's just so many knowledgeable people. And I watch enough CSI shows that I probably could have solved it.
Right. Not sure what she's talking about. Just keep nodding.
If there had have been bones found, say you found a skull.
Talk to your people.
If they had found a skull, we would have had to stop work.
Well, near the start of this video, VMAC, where one of the neighbours'
You
chickens
can't read.
come over. I've called the chicken Mallory.
And what did I say?
I forget, what did you say?
I said stop insulting the chicken.
Okay. Seal has unsubbed somebody, not sure who. No, actually, just then. Yeah, people have talked about this Melton. I went and saw him once, and he came into one of my streams once, but he sounds like a lost child. It's funny how some of these characters are eked out of different channels, and they then seek glory and fame. There is no one famous in the bottom of YouTube. Don't tell anyone, particularly those people who think they are, but it's true.
Yes.
They're just delusional.
No, yes, there is. You watch the rumour spread tomorrow about the treasure we found digging up the backyard.
Oh, right, okay.
We could start a rumour.
The one thing that I've noticed, and I just don't go to any channels now that have a dollar sign. No, that's not true, Elvis. I heard your wife's name was Kevin. Get it right. But I just don't go to anyone's channel with a dollar sign. Some people I like, but I still won't go there. Because everywhere you see those dollar signs, people asking for money, there are arguments, there is terrible behaviour. It goes on and on.
Is that our Elvis?
No. Oh, that's our Elvis, yeah.
Is
the
it?
one we've adopted.
But how come you've only got one sub?
Because no one subs him.
I thought he had more than that, Elvis. I could have sworn you had about 20.
Well, the difference between this Elvis and the other one is this one will be alive in 3 years.
No, what I'm talking about. Yeah, okay, VMAC.
There's just so much bitterness and the greedy hand, and I don't care what anyone says. If you were talented and you had the abilities to enthrall people, you wouldn't be on the bottom of YouTube, would you?
Oh, poor Elvis.
I mean, VMAC and all you guys have been around long enough to know what I'm going to say next. 2 years ago, just 24 months ago, name the channels that had dollar signs on them. You'd struggle. You really would struggle. So it's a new phenomenon that people just want your money because they've watched other people do it at any cost. Some people, look, even a couple of years ago, Mallory, I watched a few of her videos and she was witty and humorous, but now she's turned to be an obnoxious, nasty, bell-ringing he-beggar.
Who's Eric?
Who would have known? What?
Who's Eric?
What's the question?
I just said, Sil Hader just said Eric.
So what am I supposed to gather out of that?
I don't know, you're psychic.
Eric Idle? Eric Clapton? Yes, I agree. I think it will change, for sure. Look, I mean, I'm monetized, but we always give our earnings away. And I can tell you that I think it will end rapidly, particularly for people like me. But in general, I think Google wants more money. I think Google is going to twist and turn the rules to make them more profitable. It's just a business. And I'd do the same thing. I would make it a stipulation that you have 100,000 subscribers, and then you'll be eligible for monetization. And I would monitor your channel closely, and I would close you down at the first sign of misconduct. Why? Because it's my business. I'm Google.
Oh, yes, VMAC. Yeah, true.
What's that?
Sometimes Elvis in the past was entertaining. Do you remember the garlic sauce? Do you remember? Yeah, I remember.
Words, if best. But he repeats sentences over and over again. It is an early sign of dementia.
Excuse me, bless me.
And I'm not making that up. Repetitive wording of the same and similar, and then he'll get his grammatical things all wrong. And he'll always use, there's something that you can take into account, he'll always use the words we. And you might say, what do you mean? Well, he'll be driving all by himself, and he'll use the words, we are nearly in this town, or we are nearly there, or we are nearly finished. He does that because he creates a fictional character, we, to be with him. Seeds, I don't have treats. Did you mean teats or treats? You have teats. One nipple's lower than the other, which is a sure sign of male breast cancer. But don't take that to heart. Yeah, I think VMAC, what it is, it's the delusion of grandeur that's got to a few of these people. They've watched other people's bad behaviour earn money, so they'll duplicate it. And in doing so, all their previous dignities just thrown out. Tourette's. You mean Tourette's. Oh look, we've got to be honest. Most of us enjoy the parodies because the real life one is ridiculous. The parodies certainly make, as Elvis Travels is in this room, being parodic. He is copying a fool. So he's making a parody every time he writes a sentence in.
Yeah, we like.
Because we're not laughing with him, are we? We're laughing at him.
We like humour. Some of the parodies that are out there, they are funny.
But I mean, they're all going to fall on their own sword, and you'll get people who will, and they'll try and come back and try and get some credibility. But like in real life, like real credit, on YouTube, it's easily lost and very rare to get it back. So when you go down that slippery slope and that path of deception, misleading information and begging, it's very hard to come back from there and say, no, I've changed, I'm now humble. You can treat me as an equal peer. It doesn't work that way. When you shit in someone's backyard, they don't forget. No, that would be called schizophrenia, Elvis. He really does have imaginary friends. Every time he goes to a new town, I've watched him for several years, and I haven't watched him lately, but every time he goes to a new town, he just talks to somebody, and then he'll be like, they're my long-lost friend, they're my surrogate mother or father. Love. Every town he goes to, he'll just say hello to somebody, and like a stray cat, when someone stops and talks to him, he says they're my friend.
Oh, he's in love.
I've always said you can have a bad day. You can have an average month, but you should have a good year. Otherwise, there's going to be crap that happens. And yes, some people might get angry and then they'll apologise later, and that's normal, but not an ongoing barrage of abuse. Yes, I think you might have to. And the secret is to be yourself. That is the secret to life.
That's just something.
You don't have to try and fake it, because it's hard to fake it. It's hard. I can tell you things that have happened in my life and never miss a beat because they're the truth. If I was making up a story, I'd struggle to remember it. Hello, Soggy.
Plus your voice changes when you make up a story.
In constant sorrow. to this day.
Yeah, he always falls in love, hey?
I am the girl of constant sorrow. Sadly, I think some of these people are going to come crashing down. They really are. Which is a good lesson for them. You know, all the obvious that most people see in them, they don't see themselves until they hit rock bottom. Like I say, the vehicle for the tin can man is not his problem. It's his body.
And his mind.
That is the area of major concern that he ignores.
Oh, someone's car alarm.
Yeah, it does, Hi. It's like there are people that you might have an encounter with. I'll give you a great example. Playing footy, you'd always have fights on the field. Seriously, full-on blues, broken noses, teeth, etc. But as sure as eggs, after the game, you'd be sitting next to the same guy and he'd be buying you a beer. That means we've left that anger on the field. We haven't brought it outside of the field. So what you see sometimes on YouTube is a facade. It's a game, it's a play. But why play the nasty prick all the time when you can actually just be a nice person and move down that path? But if people think that they copy other people because they see them as nasty and mean and they're making money, that's why they do it. It's all about this.
Yeah, you're right, VMac. That's exactly Link. Link tries too hard, bless him. We know Link. And like we always say, his best video is the one he did. He can catch rabbits by hand on foot. That was so funny. But
well, I know who you're talking about, but a few months ago I was out in the paddock and I was chasing a few sheep, but a bit too quick for me. But I sort of went behind this little hill and I found a couple of rabbits. And I'm the only guy in the southern hemisphere who can, on any occasion he chooses to do so, catch a rabbit on foot by hand.
yeah,
That's the kind of guy I am.
but Link
I
just
put that in my description of the dating sites and no one's replied to me. Not sure why, because rabbits are quite cute.
Link, he's for a woman. Soggy, Vinny came in here not long ago. He is doing good.
Yeah, they've had him building blocks today as a dexterity, hand-eye coordination. VMac, what is the point of having a wrench on Link's channel when
Yep.
he never does a live hangout?
And he never answers. And he talk about troll accounts. He's
He's a decent bloke, but now he's born 40 years too late. He's perfect for the 1950s.
yeah, he can sew. Oh my man, did you watch those sewing videos?
He went through this process where he bought.
Oh, I found another Singer sewing
But
machine.
then what did he do?
They make 75.
He goes to a church to try and recruit some women to try his clothes on. Now, how does that look and sound? You go into a church and say, I was just wondering, you're the right size. Could you try these clothes on I've been sewing? I need models.
Well, Elvis, I do think you need to know that your wife's name is actually Kevin. But, you know, you call her Lucy or whatever you want to call her, it's fine. But mark my words, a lot of these channels are going to crash. You'll see demonetization. You will see requirements for subscriptions go a lot higher than people think. Why? Because Google wants to make money. I have ads played on my videos and I'm thinking, so my advertisers are paying me a little bit of cash and giving Google a bit of cash, and I get like 50 to 100 views, and I'm thinking, nah, if I was in business doing this, I wouldn't let me get any revenue, to be honest. And I'm pretty sure that's what they're thinking about doing. Yeah, it's building a picture high which is not true, and you always get caught out. If you pretend to be something or somebody you're not, it's just a matter of time, and you get found out.
Yeah, so something. I mean, you can have a joke and say this, that, like we've done that jokingly. People know that, but to put it out there, total bullshit, and then you get found out. What is the point?
Oops, I missed what someone said. At Los Pantalones. Yeah. You don't need help. You need to hit rock bottom, my friend. You need to hit it soon. Feel the world of reality. Stand on your 2 feet and say, God damn, I'm in a tight spot. And move forward.
Soggy.
No, YouTube doesn't owe anyone any money. They're a business, though. They want to make money. Hello, Clarice.
Like, it's natural that you talk about other people on YouTube. Everybody does it. We do it. But you try, well, there's just some people you can't talk positively about.
The worst thing that you could ever do to a narcissistic e-beggar is to turn your back on them. Not go there, not talk about them. That's it. Even when I do mention the Tin Can Man, I'm talking about a third-party reference. I'm not mentioning his name. I'm not promoting him. I certainly don't want to see any harm come to him, but I think it will because he's destroying his own body. That's just observation. It doesn't take much to work out if you put on an extra 100 pound within 2 years and a shorter breath all the time and can't walk more than 100 feet before sitting down again. There's something terribly wrong. It's time to give his wife water. That's fair enough.
Oh my God, hi, that's just like, that. This guy's a bit out there, eh? Why would you even bother doing that? Why bullshit about going somewhere?
Maybe he's just lonely. I don't know. There's always a reason why people make up a lie. It's to cover up something or it's to create something. Look, I mean, for the amount of food Tin Can Man eats and the way he wastes his life, he'd be spending a couple of grand a month. That's a fact. Now, as silly as Norm has been, he may still keep giving money. But if I was sitting here with Norm now, I'd be saying, well, you've known him for about a year, Norm? He'd say, yeah. I'd say, and you've given all this money to him? He'd go, yep. I'd say, how's his life changed, Norm? Has it changed for the better? And Norm would have to honestly answer, no. So all he's doing is throwing money at a problem. There's still the problem. Money's not the issue with the Tin Can Man. It's his thought process. It's all awry. It's all delusional. I think Norm's a very lonely man. Norm likes to hear his name mentioned. He wouldn't be giving the Tin Can Man money if it was in genuine giving, because you wouldn't see it in Super Chat. You'd see it through PayPal or a cheque or cash. The reason why you use Super Chat is Norm wants to see his name in lights.
But he has given it.
I haven't missed that point at all. Yeah, I think I just wouldn't associate with people like that. After a while, I'd just call them out and say, mate, you're talking a load of shit.
Well, because for a start,
come back to me when you hit reality.
It ends up being like the story Boy Who Cried Wolf, when people continually lie like that. When something for real happens, no one's going to believe him.
I don't think there's a person in this room who wouldn't extend help to somebody if they needed it. Now, there's a huge difference between needing it and wanting it. Australia, mate.
No, she's talking about because she said the word check. When was
Check.
the last time a check was used?
And check is spelled C-H-E-Q-U-E in Australia. Check, spelled C-H-E-C-K, is when you put your foot on the brakes or you stop opening the door because it might hit you. But a check is spelled C-H-E-Q-U-E. Yeah, I think some of the things you see by people who donate, it is really for themselves to be noticed, not for the person they give it to. And if there's notoriety involved, the more he's mentioned. So I think, if you see what I'm saying, that Norm doesn't give money to help the Tin Can Man at all. Norm gives money because it goes up in lights. Very lonely. It's very sad when you think about it, because eventually that money will dry up and there'll be no name in no lights. But if Norm had given, say, to some charitable organisation and maybe got on TV, he give 20 grand to a homeless place, he would be remembered for his life. But he won't be remembered after he stops giving. It's a brief stand in the spotlight. I haven't written cheque in 30 years. I like cash.
So yeah, Elvis.
Go into the night, fair young Elvis. Be strong, and remember, Kevin loves you. If you wanted to say the moral of the story as you were leaving the bottom of YouTube, never to come back, but you wanted to pass a pearl of wisdom onto new people, you'd simply say, never trust a man in a wig.
He has given one but said not to use his name, buddy. Well, then he shouldn't use Super Chat, hey?
No, what Buddy's saying is given anonymously, but
Oh,
if
okay,
it was
yeah,
given
yeah.
anonymously, Buddy wouldn't know about it.
Yeah.
So, loose lips sink ships.
Oh well. They're the ones who have to live with their consequences.
Like I say, there's never anything wrong in helping people. I would, if I heard High had helped a bloke on the side of the road because he had a flat tyre and he was too old to change it, and High Country changed it for him. That's helping people. Giving money to people who want it is not helping them. Giving money to people who need it is a big difference. It's a huge difference.
Damn, VMAX, I can't get anything off you for chocolate. Damn.
No, we're certainly not going to give anyone money. We're done. There's too much deception and lies, and even though I'm very discerning, you can still be fooled. So no more. None. Zilch. Kaput. Well, in Australia, if someone drove past a bloke with his bonnet up without stopping and asking, you'd be called a mongrel. We were in the middle of the Nullarbor, weren't we? The bloke had his bonnet up. I pulled over.
Yeah.
He had 3 or 4 kids. I said, "Do you need a hand, mate?" He said, No, just stop and let the kids have a wee. I'm just checking the engine. I said, no worries. But if he needed something, I'd driven back 30k to get a mechanic for him or whatever. That's just what you do. Look, a lot of people have given other people money, but you'd have to ask the question, do they want the money or do they need the money? How do you discern if someone needs money? You don't know them. You hear a story. I mean, Stella's the first one to say that on many occasions he should not have given people money. Just for his good deed and heart, he did so. Yeah, it's just what you do.
Oh, especially out
You
in
help
the
people
lonely,
in real life who need real help.
especially out in a lonely road, lonely area.
I mean, like I say, if someone's able to work but chooses not to, if someone has the ability to do something but chooses not to, but then demands money from people saying they need the money, it's a lie. It's an outright lie. I need money. Well, no, you're capable of working and you have certain skills you can do. You choose not to do them, so you just want money. That's the big difference. It's a very subtle line between need and want. Most of the people with dollar signs on their YouTube channel want money. So I don't visit them anymore. Some I like, but I won't go there.
Breeze is picking up.
And I don't hate anyone. There's no one on YouTube I hate. I have turned my back on people because they're not worthy of my visitation, my choice.
Yeah, what are you doing, VMAC? You
Yeah, it would
haven't had
never,
enough
would never
chocolate
happen in this country, do it?
with your typos. No, I'm just as bad.
Look, people think Australians don't have guns. Every ute you pulled over in the middle of the bush, there'll be a rifle in it, sometimes sticking out the window. We have more weapons than people would ever imagine. There are more weapons than people in Australia, but we don't shoot each other. If I have an argument with somebody, he leaves his rifle in the yard, and we have a punch-up, and then we'll have a beer later.
No, look, there is the odd shooting, but nothing like
No.
elsewhere. Like, what was that guy the other day? Sydney, Melbourne.
Give you an idea, in New Zealand there, the horror shooting recently, we had Port Arthur. They are so rare and they devastate the country. Every New Zealander, like Australia, felt sad that day it happened in New Zealand, and I'm sure the New Zealanders felt sad when Port Arthur happened in Australia because it is way out of whack. So we've had one or two major catastrophes like that in our countries over the last 60, 70 years. It is not normal. And I think Americans in general have become numb. 7 people shot in a school, 19 killed in a Walmart. It's like, oh, well, it didn't happen to me, so it doesn't matter. It matters. But again, I don't argue about Americans and their right to bear arms. I just argue the fact that the nutters have got them as well.
Oh yeah, you had an 8-hour flight, didn't you, VMAC? Was it 8 hours?
Yeah, no, that would have shocked the country high. I mean, it shocked us. Just like I say, you can't stop a nutter, but if you take the guns out of the hands of the nutters, you lessen the events. In Australia, on every flight, and I mean this, every flight in Australia, there is an armed officer. It's not publicised, it's not taken into account. They do shift work. They probably do 1 flight a day, and then they finish their week. But they are armed with a weapon that won't cause major havoc on board in regards to blowing the side out of an aeroplane, but it will certainly bring down somebody. I'm not telling you what that weapon is, but it is there. So when it comes to do we take air flight safety seriously, you better believe it. And in the US it'll be no different. On every flight domestic there will be an armed officer.
Well, it's like when we fly somewhere, in your hand luggage, you are not allowed to take knitting needles, you're not allowed to take
No,
crocheting hooks,
scissors,
you're not allowed to have scissors.
nail clips you're not allowed to have. What did Seal say? Just saying if that was an elbow or not, I said. Not sure what you mean.
The Elvis before...
I'm pretty sure they do, VMAC.
If you're talking about the Elvis that was just on, that wasn't the real Elvis Seal.
No, it wasn't the real elbow. But in probably the strictest security I saw was in Germany. They have a real system, don't they?
What's that?
In Germany, their stations, body searches.
Oh, God, yeah.
But every third passenger was stopped and searched and sniffed by a dog. In fact, when we flew back from Frankfurt to Singapore, then back to Perth. On the flight back from Frankfurt to Singapore, we did this huge V, extra 1,000 miles. And I was looking at the flight path, as you know you can do in a plane. And I said to the steward, what's going on here? He said, oh, it must be something to do with weather. I said, no, there's no weather. I said, what the hell's happening? He said, I don't know, to be honest with you.
Well, initially they said over the speakers due to weather.
Due to weather. But what it was when we got
yeah.
back, it was due to 600 missiles being fired from Israel and Lebanon on that day. And that's where the flight path was going over. So that's why they changed the flight path.
Hannah, I didn't suffer jet lag when we went to Europe,
No,
but
I
I've
don't.
got to say I suffered it when we came back. But then we also got a little bit sick, didn't we? Like something.
Well, you were for
the-
quite a while.
flu.
I never suffer jet lag. I'm just fortunate that way
No,
because I sleep.
We didn't going over, but coming back.
Think about when you're in a certain class of flight, they wake you up to feed you. Here's your cordon bleu. I don't want it, mate. Take it away. Okay. It's like being in a hospital. They wake you up to give you a sleeping pill. But I would recommend Singapore Airlines to anyone. Very good airline. Very, very kind and gentle staff. The food's pretty good too. No, I don't delete my comments ever. If I'm saying something, I'm keeping it. But like I say, we're not here to solve the problems of YouTube. I'm here to avoid channels that have dollar signs. My choice. Not telling any of you to do it. But I find we flew to New Zealand with Air New Zealand. They're pretty good too. They're funny. There's like Virgin staff in Australia. They're always having a laugh. But there are no geese on board New Zealand airplanes. That's a lie. That's the ad they do. Quite
Isn't
funny.
there some cool ads for the in-flight
Yeah.
thing now, though? Like, you know, when they do those, when you're flying now, here's your, how to do seatbelt up, whatever. They've got some cool ads out now. New Zealand's got a good one,
Yeah,
Hi.
VMAX says it's 3 hours later here than where I was yesterday, time zone. I avoid bed today and go bed. Yeah, it's even though it's 3 hours, particularly when you first get home, you do stuff. You know what I mean? You work for probably about 5 or 6 hours after you get home. And then you go to your toilet, VMAC. Heaven's back with you again. Then you go to your bed. Yeah, that's good. The only thing I really miss when I travel is my toilet and my bed. Because they're not like the stuff they got elsewhere.
Oh my God, I will not fly Jetstar. I do not like Jetstar.
Nah, never liked Jetstar. Virgin's always been pretty good. Qantas is okay. Air New Zealand, they're good. No, we've flown a few times with Air New Zealand, they're good. Yeah, I mean,
That's true, Hannah.
we fly business class because we can, but that's not boasting. It's just that I can sleep. But the food is always good, even on Air New Zealand in economy. Same with Singapore Airlines, you still get good food. But you just get to lay down and sleep in business class.
Oh, what did we fly Jetstar? I can't remember, but never again. Was it from here to Singapore or something? We flew Jetstar.
Can't remember. There's only one leg, but we didn't have them again. No, it's like a cattle class. Terrible. But the worst airline I've flown on is British Airways. We paid for a business class seat from London to Frankfurt, and it was an economy seat. And I said to the stewardess, I said, I'm not bitching, but is this your business class seat? And she said, yeah, it's 2 inches wider than economy. I said, I've got no leg room. She says, oh, that's our business class seat. I said, okay. But the only way I can treat British Airways now is not to ever fly with them again, because I won't.
So you class your red eye as costs more, but there's no stops. What we class here as red eye is like
Early in the morning.
the midnight flight and
Midnight and 6 a.m. red eyes are usually half price.
are cheaper here, yeah.
Same plane, just not flying at the comfortable
but
10
Vivek
a.m.
was
lift off.
saying when she flies red eye, it costs more, but there's no stops, nice and fast. But our red eye works the opposite. It's cheap, and you go when they're at
It's
middle
got
of the
nothing
night.
to do with the flight distance though. It's got to do with the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's like
Like if I wanted to go down to the airport now and fly it at midnight, I'd get a ticket from here to Sydney for about 300. If I went down at 10 in the morning, it'd cost 600.
Yeah,
Same distance, same plane.
but it depends on the time.
But I mean, there's a few airline companies that have decided that times are tough, but what they've done is go against the grain. They're making more legroom, wider seats, more comfort, because they realise they'll get the passengers. I can sleep anywhere, mate. I've had the fortunate experience of being able to sleep just on the dirt, go to bed, sleep comfortably, or on a plane, or sitting up, but I prefer to lay down when I'm on a plane. Like when we go to the US, we'll probably fly from here to Singapore, and then Singapore maybe to New York, and the Singapore to New York flight is 17 or 18 hours, but the flight from Perth to Singapore is only 5. So I don't mind sitting up for 5 hours, but on a 17, 18 hour flight, I want to sleep, you know, even if it's only 4 or 5 hours.
No, I haven't been to Moscow.
And our coach, like I say, it's the time of the day. If you get on early in the morning, you only got half a plane full of people. But they've got to get that plane back to the other side for the real profit-making mid-morning or afternoon flights. So they still got to fly it.
Yeah, well, I'd like to go back there.
We just
Why?
came back from Ireland and Scotland High, and you would love it. We fell in love with Ireland. The people there are like Aussies and New Zealanders. They're all friendly. They'll just sit down and start talking to you. And they're very helpful to give you insight into what's going on.
Okay, so in a minute it's been cold.
Yeah, we'll go inside in a minute. It's getting a bit cool out here. But yeah, if you can travel, do it. That's all I would ever tell you. If you've got a dream of going somewhere, just go. When you can afford it, go. You don't get 2 bites of the cherry sometimes. All the things you want to do in life, as you get older, you don't have the ability to do it. Yeah, they're very affable high. It's like if you landed in Australia and you looked a bit lost, and it's vice versa if I landed in New Zealand. Some bloke saying, "What's wrong, mate? You've got the trouble of the world on your shoulders. Are you lost, are you, mate?" And they'd say, "Well, go here, go there." And some people say, "Just hop in the car and I'll take you." But not in a lot of countries. They don't have that, I don't know, approachability, I suppose. And we've got about 500,000 Irishmen in Australia anyway. So it's not as if we don't know them. In fact, it's the #1 destination for immigration per capita is Ireland to Australia. They come here in their droves. We've got some good family friends we've known for a long time. They're looking at buying a property in Ireland, and a young German lassie wants to do the same, doesn't she?
Yeah.
So we might have a place to stay. I'd just buy a car and live over there for 6 months and see all of Ireland. All right, good people. We're going to go inside. Might have another cuppa, maybe. Then we'll go to bed. But hope you're feeling better today. Hope that gets sorted out for you shortly. And if we ever come to New Zealand, we'll definitely go back and we'll come to Christchurch, and you can take me out and do a little bit of this. I'll get the fry pan going, a bit of salt and pepper, a bit of lemon. Be a good day out. Have a great day. Wherever you are, make the best of it. If you find someone distasteful, nasty, mean, greedy, just click the button and get out of there.
Come on.
Good night.